In the turbulent waters of South African politics, one man stands as a potent force: Julius Malema. Born on March 3, 1981 in Seshego, Limpopo, South Africa, Malema's life has been steeped in politics from a young age. His journey from a youth activist to a prominent political leader is a narrative marked by audacity, controversy, and an unyielding quest for economic equality and social justice. Malema's political career began in earnest with the African National Congress Youth League, or ANCIL. His charisma and fiery rhetoric propelled him through the ranks, and by 2008, he had ascended to the presidency of the league. It was here that Malema first gained national attention, advocating for radical views on land redistribution, economic transformation, and nationalization of mines and banks. Yet Malema's leadership style was not without controversy. Accusations of hate speech and incitement to violence swirled around him, even as he criticized the ANC leadership, particularly President Jacob Zuma. These tensions culminated in his expulsion from the ANC in 2012. But far from signaling the end of Malema's political journey, this marked a new chapter. In 2013, Malema founded the Economic Freedom Fighters, or EFF, advocating for radical economic policies, including land expropriation without compensation, nationalization of key industries, and increased social welfare programs. The EFF quickly gained popularity, especially among young South Africans and those disillusioned with the ANC, making it the third largest party in South Africa's parliament by the 2014 national elections. Yet, Malema's confrontational approach continued to court controversy. While some praised his courage, others criticized his tactics. Regardless of the myriad opinions surrounding him, Malema's legacy is undeniable. He remains a polarizing figure, hailed by supporters for his defiance of the status quo and criticized by detractors for his radicalism. This is Julius Malema, a man whose influence is imprinted on the very fabric of South African politics. Born in Seshego, Limpopo, Malema's political journey began at a young age. Even as a child, Julius Malema was known for his outspokenness, a trait that would become a hallmark of his political career. His journey into politics began when he joined the African National Congress Youth League, known as the ANCIL, where his charisma and fiery rhetoric quickly caught the attention of his peers and leaders. Even in his early years within the ANCIL, Malema was a force to be reckoned with. His passion for social justice and economic equality resonated with many of his fellow youth members, propelling him through the ranks at a rapid pace. This culminated in his ascendancy to the position of president of the ANCIL in 2008, a role he held until his expulsion from the ANC in 2012. During his tenure as president of the ANCIL, Malema was known for his radical views on a range of issues. He advocated for land redistribution, economic transformation, and the nationalization of mines and banks. These views, while controversial, spoke to a deep-seated desire for change among many South Africans, particularly the youth. However, Malema's leadership style and radical views were not without their critics. His statements often courted controversy, leading to accusations of hate speech and incitement to violence. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, Malema's influence within the ANCIL and the wider ANC continued to grow. His fiery rhetoric and radical views set the stage for a tumultuous political career. Malema's time in the ANCIL was marked by both his rise in the ranks and the controversy his viewpoint stirred. However, these early years were just the beginning of his journey. His story is a testament to the power of youthful activism and the role it can play in shaping political landscapes. The spotlight on Malema grew brighter and more controversial during his tenure in the ANC. Here was a man who was not afraid to voice his opinions, no matter how contentious they were. His charisma and fiery rhetoric drew attention, but it was his radical views on issues like land redistribution, economic transformation, and nationalization of mines and banks that really made waves. Under Malema's leadership, the ANC Youth League became a hotbed for radical economic policies. He advocated for the redistribution of land without compensation, a move that sparked fierce debate within the ANC and beyond. He argued that the wealth of the nation should be shared amongst its people, not hoarded by a privileged few. But his stances weren't just about economics. Malema was also a vocal critic of the ANC leadership, particularly President Jacob Zuma. He accused Zuma of corruption and mismanagement, and his outspokenness put him at odds with the party's top brass. In fact, it was his criticism of the ANC leadership that eventually led to his expulsion from the party in 2012. His expulsion was a controversial move, seen by some as an attempt to silence a dissenting voice within the ANC. But if the ANC leadership thought that expelling Malema would quiet him, they were sorely mistaken. Malema was not one to be silenced, and his expulsion only served to fuel his determination to fight for economic equality and social justice. In the wake of his expulsion, Malema found himself at a crossroads. He could have faded into obscurity, his voice silenced by the powers that be. But that was not Malema's style. Instead, he chose to rise from the ashes, using his expulsion as a springboard to launch a new political movement. His dissenting voice within the ANC silenced, Malema found a new platform to express his radical ideas. From the ashes of his ANC career, the economic freedom fighters were born. But that's a story for another time. In 2013, Malema emerged from the ashes of his ANC expulsion armed with a new political vehicle, the Economic Freedom Fighters. This was not just a rebound for Malema, but a clear indication of his unwavering resolve to fight for economic equality and social justice. The EFF, a radical and revolutionary political party, was born out of the dissatisfaction of the ANC's leadership and the need for a more aggressive approach towards economic transformation. It was a bold move, a daring departure from the conventional political path. But then, Malema was not one to shy away from the unconventional. The party's foundation was built on radical economic policies that were both ambitious and controversial. At the heart of these policies was the call for land expropriation without compensation, a move aimed at addressing the historical injustices of land dispossession. The EFF also advocated for the nationalization of key industries, including mines and banks, to ensure that the wealth of the nation benefited all South Africans. In addition, the EFF proposed an increase in social welfare programs to alleviate poverty and inequality. These policies, while radical, resonated with many South Africans, particularly the youth and those who felt disillusioned with the ANC. The EFF's message of economic freedom struck a chord with those who felt left behind, those yearning for a significant change in their economic fortunes. The party quickly gained popularity, capturing the hearts of many who were disillusioned by the ANC's perceived failure to address economic inequality. The EFF's appeal was not just limited to the disenfranchised youth. It also attracted a significant number of disgruntled ANC members who saw in the EFF a fresh and bold approach to tackling South Africa's economic challenges. What Malema created with the EFF was more than just a political party. It was a movement, a call to action, a rallying cry for economic freedom. The EFF's founding marked a significant shift in South African politics, introducing a new, radical voice to the political arena. With the EFF, Malema had carved a niche for himself in the political landscape, shaking the foundations of South African politics. He had not just rebounded, he had redefined the game, challenging the status quo and setting the stage for a new era in South African politics. Julius Malema's story is a testament to the complexities and struggles of South African politics. His journey isn't just about the rise of a fiery youth activist to the leader of a significant political party. It's also an ongoing narrative of a country grappling with economic disparity, racial reconciliation, and the legacy of apartheid. Malema's activism didn't stop with his expulsion from the ANC or the founding of the EFF. Instead, it intensified. He and the EFF have been staunch critics of the ANC government, particularly on issues of corruption, economic inequality, and social justice. They've become the voice for those who feel unheard, a beacon for those disillusioned with the status quo. But it's not just what Malema says, it's how he says it. His leadership style is as controversial as it is charismatic. He doesn't mince words, and his confrontational approach has both its admirers and detractors. Some praise his courage, his refusal to back down, his audacity to challenge powerful entities. Others criticize him for what they see as reckless rhetoric and a tendency to incite rather than unite. And then there's his impact on South African politics. The EFF, under Malema's leadership, has quickly risen to prominence. In the 2014 national elections, just a year after its founding, the EFF won over 6% of the vote, making it the third largest party in South Africa's parliament. It's a testament to Malema's influence and the resonance of the EFF's radical economic policies. But perhaps the most significant aspect of Malema's story is the legacy he's building. A legacy marked by a relentless pursuit of economic equality and social justice. A legacy that continues to shape the evolving landscape of South African politics. Julius Malema, a polarizing figure, a defiant leader, and a testament to the evolving landscape of South African politics. His story is far from over, and its chapters continue to be written in the heart of South Africa's political landscape.